Hello, hello. Oh, I fixed the sound. Excellent. Okay. Thanks for putting that in the chat. No sound. Okay. Hopefully, just give me some thumbs up. Let me know that the sound is good. Thanks for letting me know that. Had it accidentally muted. Whoops. So what you missed, I said hello to basically everybody in the chat room. So hello again. I'm not going to go through that whole spiel, but thanks for coming today. Today was kind of nuts. Had obviously, as everyone else in the country and probably the world, kids are home from school, and I have to be teacher sort of. Well, I have to be the orchestrator, right? Here's the YouTube videos your teacher made for you. Go ahead and watch those and make sure your assignments are done and all that fun stuff. So, yeah. Today, I thought it'd be fun to, you probably got them in the past. I've had this week in Weaver Space emails, and I haven't been good at sending those out regularly just because they are a lot of work actually, and yeah, I haven't figured out quite how to clone myself yet. So what I thought is, over time, I kind of like, as I find a cool website, and part of that email was cool stuff I found around the web, and I found a lot of cool stuff, and I just haven't had time to send out the emails and stuff like that. So I figured, why not just dedicate a live stream today to kind of show you some of that cool stuff, and show you how to actually use it inside your RapidWeaver projects. So I thought that'd be kind of fun. Maybe a little bit better than the email actually, because then you can kind of see how we can use those things that I found and use those inside of our websites. So cool. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and hold on. Let me get this screen share ready here. Let's do that and this. Oh wait, crazy. Why is it? Oh, that's funky. Hold on one second. Ah, shoot. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can fix this. Oh no. Oh no, Mr. Bill. I do this. You guys still seeing me? Hopefully I didn't mess everything up. Okay. Looks like I've. Okay. I had changed the resolution of my display after I started the my app. So let me get myself centered here. So yeah, so sorry if this everything looks a little bit small today. I don't want to restart the entire live stream for that. So sorry about that. We're just gonna have to live with it a little bit small. Sorry. Okay. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sites I was going to show today. Afterward, I kind of discovered that a lot of these are actually background sites. So there's a few background generators. So I thought we'd go ahead and go through those. Those are probably going to be kind of simple and easy to go through. So hopefully you guys got some questions and we could play around with and do some other things after we go through these few sites. So the first 4 sites we're going to look at today actually have to do with backgrounds, right? And I do have a stack called Wallpaper, which is really cool. It has tiled SVG backgrounds, and those are really nice. And it also has a bunch of built-in gradients, but it's not infinite, right? I mean, there's an infinite number of things that we can do on the web. And while the stuff in Wallpaper is awesome, it is scalable, it's fast. Sometimes, we just want something different. So there are an absolute ton of different websites out there in the world that have ways of styling backgrounds and creating backgrounds, fancy, whether or not they're gradients, and it's really simple now with Foundation 6 to get all of these integrated into our websites. So let's just look at some of these. This is one called Gradient Magic, which is kind of new. And I just thought it was really nice. It has a lot of really complex color gradients. And if you notice, it actually uses some gradients to kind of customize and do some like these kind of shape things, right? Pretty cool stuff. If you want to enlarge it, you can kind of see it large, right? That's some really slick stuff. And the CSS for this is probably pretty nuts. And I think you can kind of customize the colors and all kinds of really insane stuff. Creating stuff like this in a stack is just, it kind of be, I don't want to say it's impossible, but like it'd be really complex, like all the amount of settings that you would have to do. So that's why, a lot of times these sites are just really great. By the way, this one is gradientmagic.com. Sorry if I didn't say that before. And so there is just a lot of really cool stuff. And, there's more stuff that you can get online than you can ever from a stack. So again, while wallpaper is really awesome, and hopefully a lot of you have it, stuff like this is just really great. And wallpaper works with all these as well. But let's go ahead and let's launch up RapidWeaver really quick. And let's play with, actually, this complex circles is, I really love that. This is new. I hadn't seen this one before. So I actually really like this. So we're gonna go ahead and play with this inside RapidWeaver. And where is RapidWeaver? There it is. Okay, let's open up my sandbox. Now, I do have to say, one thing with gradients is, while gradients are beautiful, they can, especially some of these complex ones, they can actually use quite a bit of CPU on your users' machines. Okay, so just a little bit of forethought, if you want to be, especially on mobile and whatnot, especially if you want, I know a lot of you want to use fixed backgrounds. Fixed backgrounds actually use a lot of resources on a machine as well. So just kind of be weary of that and use these things, I think, sparingly a little bit. Sometimes I see like, for example, like this particular gradient, I think this might be nice maybe for a header or hero header, but some people like have this as like the entire background of their site. And I think if we exercise a little bit of subtlety, it will really enhance our sites a lot more, right? So instead of like it being like color and gradients and crazy backgrounds like in your face, like I think using them more subtly is going to really make your website pop a lot more and make it look a lot more elegant. Okay. So RapidWeaver is launched here. Let's just go ahead and show you how we can integrate these in our sites. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's create like a little header here. Let's create like a hero header, something like that. So let's go ahead and let's do a container. I'm going to be doing this inside Foundation 6, everyone. But you can possibly do this with, maybe I can show you guys how you can use this with something like CSS Box or something like that if you're not using Foundation 6. But essentially, it's the similar concept. But the swatches in Foundation 6 make this really, really easy, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to use those. Okay. So first off, let's create this as a header. Here, let's do like a kind of a tall one. Let's do like height. Actually, you know what? We're just going to do. I'm going to do this on this container. I'm just going to do h:50 vh. I think. Hold on one second. I even forget the utility class sometimes. Let's go ahead and add the utility classes here. So we go to show utility classes. Let's look at the height helpers. How did I do? I forget how I did that. Height size. Oh, interesting. You know what? I need to create some utility classes for like browser height or something. I do have full, but we should have something like half size or something like that. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to create a swatch. Okay. So we'll add a height swatch. And I'm going to create a class called half screen. Okay. We'll call this half screen. And I'm going to have a height setup of 50% the browser height. Okay. So I'm going to go over here. Let's add the class half screen. Okay. There we go. And then, so now what we're going to do is, so I have this here. Let's go ahead and add a header to this really quick. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put this in the column. I'm going to make the column half screen. Okay. Then we're going to add, we need a header. Let's just do a header. Okay. And then, actually, you know what, for fun, I'm going to actually use fit text in here as well. We're going to use fit text. And we'll call this, we'll just call it fit text. Why not? Okay, fit text. We're going to make this header in H1. We're going to give this fit text. Okay, let's preview that really quick. Boom, here's my header. Okay, and it should properly scale it down, and it does. Cool. Let's do this. Boom, 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 boom. And then I want to vertically center that in the middle. Okay, cool. Header scales. So fit text, if you didn't know, that is a stack. It doesn't ship with Foundation 6, but it has a fit text swatch, and it allows you to scale headers or whatever text you want down. And it'll dynamically scale it to fit the browser window. So it's really cool. Okay. So we got that now. Now we're gonna add some. Right now, obviously, the background is just plain and simple. But let's go ahead and add some background stuff to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a background swatch. Okay, and let's go to that generator. Okay, we're gonna do this one. Okay, and what did they call this one? Complex circles. Okay, so this is called complex circles. So guess what I'm going to name this background? I'm going to name this complex dash circles. Okay. And in the background styles, I'm going to go to CSS, and I copied that CSS from the website, and I'm just going to paste it directly into there. Okay. And then we're going to go like that. I'm going to copy this class, and we're going to add it to this one column. Actually, I'm going to add it to the container. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, interesting. That did not work. Why didn't that work? Oh, man. See, the first one, I haven't even tested this out. This is talking about going off on the fly, right? Let's make this a little bit bigger. Inspect that. Here's complex circles. Wait, what? Complex circles. Background. It's not getting applied. What the heck? Uh-oh. Did a bug get into the background swatch? Oh no. Oh no, it's there. Complex circles, radial gradient. Interesting. How come that? CSS is there. That's some crazy CSS. Okay, let's try a more simple one. Let's try something that's a little more simple. Let's go to all collections. Let's do the standard circles. Okay, let's just do like I kind of like this one. Let's copy that. Why isn't that working? What? There. Radial gradient. Oh, is it because I don't have... Oh, did it not give me a semicolon at the end? Oh, interesting. Will that make a difference? I am flabbergasted here. Okay. Oh, I see. The CSS that this site is giving me is not all of the CSS we need. Okay. It's putting radial gradient, but it's actually not doing background. Oh, there it goes. Wow, that's I think a bug in this little thing. Okay. So the CSS that this was giving us, it wasn't giving us all the CSS we needed. I was trusting it and instead of trusting myself, but there we go. So if we go in here, let me go ahead and zoom in here. I had to add background colon to this. Okay. Because it was giving me the value of the background, but not the actual background. So it wasn't giving me the complete answer there. Okay. So let's go ahead. So let's go back to our complex circles, and I'm going to copy that CSS again, and we're going to paste that in. Oh, there it goes. Boom. All right, we preview that. We have, that's beautiful. Obviously the black text doesn't work, but we can, here we could just do something like this. In the container, I'm just going to do Alt, and that will use our Alt colors. There we go. Maybe like put it like if this was a nicer font, right? Here, let's, if we do this, live stream. Right. Maybe we center the text. Centered. Oh, interesting. Man, I like that. I love the background. That is absolutely posh. Here, let's do center there. We'll do it. Ah, there it goes. Okay. Sometimes, depending on your layouts, like you'll notice that the alignment inside like the header or whatever doesn't work. It's probably always best if you do the alignment on the column or the container, then it will mostly always work. So yeah, it's just some little kinks into how some things are done and accomplished. That sometimes setting the alignment of your content. Man, I really, really love that. Okay, so at this point, we could just now that we know what we're doing, what's kind of cool is you can now save this swatch. Like if you have this background, like I don't need to delete it. It's called complex circles. I can use it wherever I want, save it off, and we now have this code forever in our project. And we could just, whatever we add that complex circles class to, it will magically get that gradient color, right? Really, really, really cool. I haven't been watching the chat box. Let me go ahead and make sure I look at that. Okay. And Blair says, yes, Gradient Magic doesn't know where you're going to be using the CSS. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't know where you're using it. But normally if a button says copy CSS, I was kind of expecting it to have all the CSS properties. I wasn't reading the output. That was my bad. But we did get it working. So that's kind of cool. So if we want to just create another one, right? So if we just go to background here, let's choose a different one that we like. Let's go to all collections. They have some really interesting ones, right? So like here's stripes. Oh, this one's kind of crazy. Complex angular. Let's go for, that's kind of cool. Let's copy that CSS right there. We go angular. We'll do pink angular. And we'll go CSS. And here we'll just do background, paste that in. And then anywhere we add pink angular, we will get our gradient, right? Boom. Look at that. Really, really, really cool, right? Now, I know a lot of us, what we want is, you know, a lot of times we want to have, you know, those really cool, I think this seams would freaking be perfect for this. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here a little bit today. But man, I just saw this and I really think seams, if we chuck a seams on the bottom of this, right? Okay. And let's just do like an angle. Okay. And in the angle, or let's see, in the seam, you're going to do color white. Right. And if we just preview that, oh, where'd I put that? Oh, here, just do, full width. Boom. Like that. You see how now we added seams and it added that angle, right? If we want to make it a little more drastic, we can adjust the, we can adjust the offset. And we can kind of make it kind of like that, a skewed angle. Like that, right? So we did that. Let's see, you know, now we get something really interesting, right? So, you know, we're adding this down to the bottom, and that's just really, really slick. And then obviously, you know, you can have multiple angles, maybe different sections of your site have these cool backgrounds. Yeah, I'm really loving that. And seams is killer. If you don't have seams is such a powerful stack to add all kinds of different angles and whatnot to your sites. And you see, it's super easy to use. We can also do here, if we did, I'm going to do something a little bit crazy as well. I'm going to do this one. We're going to define a custom color on this. I'm going to make it white, maybe a little bit transparent, and then a different angle. On this one, I'm going to adjust the starting point to go down. I don't know, something like that. So you see, you can kind of get double lines there. Maybe if we raise that up a little bit. Something like that. So you can kind of get that, you see, kind of get that little accent. So you can have multiple seams kind of overlapping on top of each other. It's really cool stuff. Okay. And seams is all SVGs as well. So it's super scalable, and super small as well. Really, really cool. Okay. So anyway, I'm not going to go into we can play all day long with these this gradient magic. This has, as you see, I don't know, like 20 or so different things here. Some of these are really horrible. Here's an example though, like this, okay, something like this. I mean, you're not going to put this all over your website. Like that is just, it's crazy. It's too powerful. It's too much, right? Especially for something this large. But, okay, what if we did something like this? Okay, let me just give you an example of how you can use something like this to add like a little pop of something to your site. Okay. So let's say well, it's not really going to go well with this. Okay, let's just get rid of that pink gradient really quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add another container. Let's add a container to the very top of our site. Okay. Actually, first off, let's do, we'll add a background. I'm going to go ahead and copy this CSS. Let's call this rainbow. Okay. We're going to do custom CSS. Background, colon. I'm going to paste that in there. Okay. So now we got this crazy rainbow gradient, right? And I'm going to add rainbow to this container. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I want this, I'm going to basically turn this into just a small little accent up at the top. Okay. So I'm going to just do height, colon, let's do like 8. Okay. And if we preview that, what we'll notice, oh, my content is white. Hold on one second. Let's just go ahead. Let's just delete that really quick. Okay. So like if you notice, like that is just, I mean, it's just kind of a little accent at the top. That's just a line, right? But all it is a background gradient, right? And something like that adds like a little pop, right? It's not in your face. It's just this little nice rainbow gradient, something like that. Like maybe if you put it below your header or something like that, right? So if, let's move this down below. It's not going to look good with the seams. We'll delete the seam really quick. Right. We have that, like, so then we have our header. Maybe this is a color or something like that, right? But then this line is just like an accent, right? Maybe a little bit thinner. Let's try, that was what, 8? Let's do half that. Right. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's really sharp, right? It's a very tiny, small accent. Yeah, it just looks, I think something like that looks great. But if that, again, that rainbow gradient were to fill up your entire screen, that'd be kind of crazy. Please don't do that. Right. So there we go. Hopefully that give you a little bit of ideas on how you can use these things for more than just like a huge gradient that fills something. Right. Okay. I can get that seam back on there because I think the seam is really good. Okay, let's just delete that. Okay. So, okay, we're going to move on from gradient magic. Okay. And again, really cool. I think you could probably play with this stuff all day long. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Next up is beautiful dingbats. And this is a very interesting one. It allows you to, it generates basically tiled images for us. Okay. It has a pattern generator. You can shuffle the examples. As you see, it has a bunch of these cool little examples. And again, I think stuff like this, I like that one. I think stuff like this, again, for like really large like areas like this, it's very in your face, but maybe, small little accents on the page, maybe a border around an image or something like that. Like that's actually an interesting idea. Let's find one that would normally kind of be pretty much in your face, right? I kind of like this. Let's do this. Okay. Where is I don't even know. And this is beautifuldingbats.com. Okay. And how do we scroll down to read more? How do I copy the CSS? I had this saved. I haven't even used this page yet. Early free patterns. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So, oh man, you can like do all kinds of crazy customizations. You can randomize. Okay. You can transform the tile pattern, change the colors. Oh man, this is crazy. And then we can copy this. Click to copy your, okay, boom. So what does this do? Let's see what this copied to our clipboard really quick. I'll analyze the data that this gives us first. All right, so let's paste that into there. And what this does is it gives us a background image, so a URL. I'll be honest, I like that a little bit less. We can download it though. Okay, cool. So This says, oh, this is sharing your pattern. So you can share this to, okay, got it. Export your pattern. So we can do it inline SVG. Here, this is what we want. Copy to clipboard. Okay. So this one is a base 64 encoded SVG. And then you can also download as an SVG if you wanted to maybe warehouse that image. Okay. For easiness, I'm going to go ahead and click on copy to clipboard for this. If you notice, this one actually puts in the proper CSS. This already has background : in there for us. Okay. So let's call this one stripes. Okay. We're going to do custom CSS. I'm going to paste that in there. And there we go. We can see the stripes right in there. Okay. And just for kicks, we'll see that we can add in stripes. And there is our, see, okay, perfect example. Like, I think that's too much. Right? I think that's just, I think that's too much for this area, right? It's too big of an area. You can't overlay text on it. While I like the pattern, I think it looks great. It's just too much, right? So this would probably be a pattern that I think would look better on more subtle things, on smaller elements, right? Maybe, so for example, if you wanted to, let's come up with an example of where we might be able to use this. Okay. Let's say on this container, I added a little bit of padding. Let's do padding, I don't know, 32. Okay, I just do P:32. And then on this column, or in this one column, I'm just gonna create a background. We're gonna do BG:white. Oops. BG:white. We're gonna do a color and white. Okay. Or actually here, we'll do white, like this could be interesting. White, like 86%. Okay. Then on this one column, we're going to do BG-white. Okay. We preview that. Okay. Now, obviously, I think the white text doesn't look good. Okay. But just give you an idea of things that you could do with this. And maybe I don't even need the padding, right? Maybe let's take the alt off of this. Right? Okay. And maybe that BG white is, let's make it more like 75%, something like that. And now on the container, if we took off the padding, right? Okay, something like that, that is more subtle, right? Where we still have that pattern, but the stuff on top of it is now pops a little bit better. So it's definitely more subtle. And if you like that when I added the padding to the container, okay, you'll see that this kind of gives us kind of a picture frame look, right? And if we wanted, we can make that this area in here, this white background, we can make it 100%. So there's zero transparency as well to give us a completely different look, right? So that, something like this, maybe even a little smaller, maybe less padding. If we did 20 maybe. Right. So a little bit less. I mean, something like that, that makes it look a little crazy, but maybe if that was a smaller box in an area, it gives us slight, some more ideas on how we can use these backgrounds, but not have them be crazy in your face. Okay. Cool. So that's wingdats or dingbats. Sorry. Beautiful dingbats. It's pretty cool. It's one I thought was nice. And you have a lot of, actually, I didn't even play with it before. You have a lot of customizations. Or if we I want this purple and, green. Oh, Jesus. Do not do purple and green. Oh, wow. Blue. Okay. Maybe change. Where's the other color that you can change? Oh, wow. Don't do that either. You have a lot of customizations with all of these. The randomize gives us so much better color combinations than what I did on my own. So yeah, really cool stuff here. Play around with this. Beautiful dingbats. Okay, this next one, I'll probably go through these next two pretty quickly because it's just going to be a lot of the same stuff. tartanify.com. This is pretty cool. They've curated over 5,000 different tartan patterns or plaid patterns, right? A lot of them are based on family names. So if you want to find your family crest on here, sadly Workman is not there. But if you're a McLeod or I think Brett Carmichael, he found his on here, right? So yeah, you can find your family's thing. Like here's a Waddle, okay, and then you can download that as an SVG, okay. And that's actually something we haven't done. So I'm going to download this as an SVG. Okay, so I downloaded that. How can we now use this this SVG that I just downloaded as a background pattern, right? That could be something fun. So actually, I'm going to use the same exact thing here. Let's put this back down to like 80%. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in resources, and I'm going to drag this SVG into the... Now, there's a lot of different ways of doing this, but I'm going to show you this way. Wow, that SVG looks horrible inside RapidWeaver resources. Very interesting. Okay, so I drag and dropped that resource into the RapidWeaver resources. Okay, so again, the resources are in the toolbar, and you just drag and drop your image directly into there. Okay, I'm going to now add a background swatch, and let's call this Tartan. Okay, and then I'm going to do, I'm going to click warehouse. So under background, I'm going to click warehouse, and I'm going to say set link, and I'm going to go URL resource waddle fifegreg.svg and click set link. Okay. Now, as of right now in Stacks 4, the image will not preview inside edit mode, but it should work when we preview the page. Okay. So if I go to this container and I add my class Tartan, okay, I'm going to preview that, and it should work, hopefully. Oh, no. Interesting. File not found. I know some things that maybe it doesn't for CSS. Interesting. Rats. Okay, I'll show you a different way. Okay, wasn't planning on teaching warehousing a little bit, but I'm sure a lot of you know how to warehouse an image. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna FTP to my server really quick. I'm using Transmit, by the way. You can use your favorite FTP app. It is really slow too. Okay, I'm not gonna waste any time. You FTP the I'm not sure. It's probably because internet connection is slow while I'm doing a live stream. But I FTP this SVG file up to my server. Then I can get the URL to that image, and I pop the URL to that image directly inside RapidWeaver here. So I would do, for example, I would do URL, and then I put sandbox.joework.net/myimage.svg, right? Okay, and then that's how you would set that link. Okay, so that's how you do the background SVGs. Okay, next one is these ones are kind of trippy. I really want to play with these a little bit. So this has some code. We're going to show the code. Oh, these ones I forgot. This is really advanced stuff. Okay, this one isn't as simple as the others, where you just have like a drag and drop or copy paste sort of thing. These are definitely unique. Okay, really cool though. Like, look at this, where it has like these squares that kind of animate up the page. Really, really cool. So I haven't even played with this. I forgot that this even required this level of work. But let's go ahead and play with it. Why not? Okay. I'm going to try. Let's add a new container to the page. And I'm going to make this, what did I want? half screen. Okay, so we're going to make this container half screen. Let's get some HTML. So I'm going to drag in some HTML into the container. Okay, so for this particular example, we have HTML and CSS that we're going to have to put on the page. So I'm going to copy this. And then we're going to paste the HTML. Okay. And then it also gives us some CSS we need. So I'm actually, just for easiness, there's a CSS stack inside Foundation 6. So I'm going to get that CSS that it gives us, and I'm going to put the CSS directly inside there. Okay, it's quite a bit of CSS. Okay, and let's just preview that. Let's see how that works. Oh, check that out. What? That's really cool. Now, where's my content though? That's kind of weird. I haven't seen what this actually does to our page, because my actual content is gone, which is interesting. Not sure what this actually does. Oh, it's like overlaid itself on top of all of my content. So even though, okay. Interesting. I wonder, I might have to play around with this one a little bit more, outside of this live stream to kind of see how it works. But it seems to take over the entire page. Really cool though. Yeah, I'd have to analyze that to see what it's doing. So while what it's doing does work, just copying and pasting that in, it kind of overlays itself on top of the page content. So that's not so cool. Okay. I won't try to debug this any longer. But I'm sure there's something we could do to get that working. Cause these are pretty cool. I think it's pretty slick. And this is a crazy long URL. I'll have to put this in the show notes or something like that. Okay. Next up, we're going to skip one and we're going to go to this site that I like called Coolors. Okay. COOLORS. And what's kind of cool about this site is if you just hit your space bar, it'll just kind of randomly start picking color, swatches for you. And then if you're like, oh, you know what? I really like this particular color. So I can lock this red in, okay, this dark red. And if I hit space bar, it will keep finding colors that kind of go with that one, right? So let's say like, oh yeah, I kind of like this blue. And then I can keep hitting the space bar and it will then, until I find my color palette that I like, right? Which is kind of cool. Really simple to use. So yeah, it's really nice. I have to be honest, I've played around with this. I haven't really used it to create a color scheme yet, just to be experiment, true to you. And then you can export this as a URL or SVG or PNG or a PDF, so you can get your colors. I'm not sure. Oh, save requires that you create an account and whatnot. So yeah, it's kind of nice. Let's export this to a PDF. I'm just wondering what that does. Oh, look at that. Kind of creates like a nice little thing. It has all the color codes. So you have all of these. Pretty nice. Then maybe you can then add this to something like, color slurp or something like that. So you can kind of create your palettes in there, move all the colors in there. So anyway, yeah, Coolors. It's a nice little site. Okay. Last thing that I wanted to review today. And I posted about this on Weaverspace, actually. This is a really, really cool article on negative margins. And I thought it would be fun to show you guys how to use a negative margin to do an example like this. Negative margins can be a very powerful thing. for a couple different things. We'll go over a couple use cases. We'll show you this particular one that's here. And what if we look at this code here, we'll see that we have a header, and then below that we have some content. Okay, seems simple enough. But what it does is, what you might think is, hey, this area here, I have a box with a header, and then below it I have a different box with some content. This header has some padding, and this content has similar padding. Okay, but that's actually not how this code is done. If we look at the code, it's really simple. We have a single box with a header inside and a piece of text inside of there. Cool. Well, how is that done? That seems kind of interesting. How can we do that? How can we replicate this exact similar, extremely small piece of code into kind of a more complex layout where you might think that there's a lot of things going on here? Okay, so let's replicate this exact thing inside of Foundation 6. Let's go ahead and just delete this, delete that, or just clean up this page. Okay. I'm going to stick with container, and let's do site width on that. Okay. I'm just going to start from scratch with the new thing there. Okay. Let's do a 1 column. Okay. So now I have a container with a 1 column. I'll add some padding and whatnot just so it doesn't go all the way to the edge of the browser. Okay. So that's kind of my base layout. Let's go ahead and let's look at this. First off, we have a container. Okay. Or we have a basically what's called a div that is wrapping this whole thing. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create this inside of this container and column. Just so that we have something encapsulated in it. Okay. And I'm just going to set this to be auto. Okay. And for fun, let's mimic their classes. I'm going to call this module. Okay. Because that's what it said here. This had a class of module. Okay. So here I have this container called module. Okay. And if we look at the CSS, module has padding of 1 rem and a background of white. Okay, let's do that. So, I'm going to trash all of these as well, just so we're all... Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create background. I'm going to create my module. It's going to have a background color of white. Actually, I'm going to do off-white. No, we'll do white. Okay. And then in my site styles, I'm going to create the site background color. It's going to be, we'll create that off-white so that white pops off from the module. Okay. So whenever I add the module class, it's going to get a white background, and then we need to add padding. Okay. And oops, padding is going to get 16 pixels. Oops. 16 pixels. Oh, I need to put module. Okay. So, and then inside there we had a paragraph and a header. Okay. So I'm actually going to add, we could do this with a text stack, but I'm actually going to use a header. Okay. And, here we'll just mimic it. I think it had an H2. So yep, we're going to do H2. So we'll do H2. And it's called header. So let's just do header. Header. So we have a header, and below that we have a paragraph. Okay. So let's just go ahead and we'll just add some text. There's a paragraph of text. Let's preview that. And there we have our box. Okay. And let's go ahead and, whoops. I want this in a new window. Let's get this one in a new window. There we go. Okay. So there we go. We have our box with our padding around. Cool. But now what I want to do is, let's go ahead and we want to add this background color to the header. Okay. And so let's do that. So we want to add a background color to the header. So let's add a background. And I'm going to add a class. I'm just going to say module dash header. Okay. And copy that. Here, let's get that same exact color that they used. We're going to do a background color over here. Paste that. Okay. And that's module header. So I'm going to take that and do the background. There we go. So I added the background color to my header, and let's preview this. Now, I know what's going to happen, but let's see if you guys can or aware what's going to happen. Well, that wasn't really what we wanted, right? That's not the example that we saw here. Here, the header is kind of above. What the heck's going on? Okay, so what we want to do, okay, is we're going to use a negative margin to make the header go outside. Okay, so if we look here, if we inspect this, okay, you'll notice that if I look at right now, I have selected our module. Okay. If you notice that there is remember we added a 16 pixel padding around the entire thing. So that's what's keeping that header in. But what we're going to do is we're going to add a negative margin to the header to make it expand out. Okay. So we're going to go over here. Let's create a new margin swatch. And we're going to add this to the module header. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set, I'm actually going to go to detailed, and we're going to do, hold on, it's top, left, bottom, right. Okay. Actually, first we'll do simple, and I'm going to do negative 16 pixels. Okay. So we're going to do negative 16 pixel margin on the header. And that's going to look a little funky in edit mode, but that's okay. Boom. Okay. So if you notice now, that made our header expand up. Okay. But it also brought the text up with it. That's not what we want. Okay. I knew that was going to happen too, but how can we fix that? Okay. So what we're going to do is on our margin for our header, instead of using this simple, instead of doing negative 16 pixels on all sides, we're going to go over to detailed. And on top, we're going to do negative 16. On the bottom, we're going to do positive 16. And then on the left and the right, we're going to do negative 16. Okay. So now if we preview this, voila. Our header has now gone all the way to the edge, and then that positive margin on the bottom pushes the text down. Okay, pretty cool. Now, if you notice, our header has gone all the way to the left. Okay, we could just simply add a little bit of padding to that. Okay, so margin is space on the, oops, where's the window? Margin is space on the outside of the content, or outside of the content area, and padding is spacing on the inside of the content area, basically relative to the border. Okay. So now we're going to add some padding to the header, to the heading. Let's go ahead and add a padding swatch, and we're going to put in our class, which is module header, and we're going to use it just simple 16 pixels because we want it to be the same. Voila. So now we have our header with the same, so it's now aligned because we added the same 16 pixel padding. Okay. So we now have, this is super clean code, right? I mean, this is a single div with a single piece of text and a single header. And now we're just styling all of that, right? And so yeah, hopefully that was a little beneficial to you. We could probably do some more styling, like maybe remove the bottom margin from this text if you wanted it to be identical. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a really cool, neat trick with negative margins to kind of make things expand and go a little bit larger than they are. Okay. What are some other things that we can do with a negative margin? Okay. we're going to keep the same exact design. I'm going to add an image into this. We're going to add an SVG. Okay. And I'm going to scale this down. Okay. And then we're going to, I'm going to actually add in, is that something that works? Damn it. Okay. I'm going to add a container. Okay. So this SVG, doesn't want to align. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag that in there. Then we're going to do align center. Is that going to work? Dang it. I'll have to look at that. SVG alignment is off. It's okay. We'll fix it with margins. Okay. So what I want to do is, I have this SVG. What I want to bring it up and kind of overlap this content above it, right? So how do we do that? Okay. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to create some margins. So let's go ahead and let's call this module dash icon. Okay. Let's copy that. We're going to add a new margin swatch. And put in a class of module icon. Now, first off, let's fix the centering thing. Okay. I'm going to go to detailed, and to center a lot of things, what you do is if you set the left and right margins to auto, that should center it. Okay. So let's go ahead and preview that. And what you talking about, Willis? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's because I have it in a stupid div. I'm going to have to fix that in an update. Okay. I'm going to do this display dash inline. And now if I add this in here. Okay. That did it. I'll have to fix that in an update. I'll make it so these alignments on the SVGs work better. I think it has to do with the scaling. But anyway. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this this module icon on the container itself. Okay. Okay. So now margin. What we want to do is we want to shift this icon up. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a negative margin on the top. Okay. And what that does is it's going to shift that icon up. At least it should. Why did it not? What? Module icon, margin. Oh, oops. I swear I set that to negative. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I'm not sure what I did before, but okay. So that's shifting that up, right? Now, if this is a transparent SVG, if this might look a little bit better if it was solid, right? Or maybe an image, right? But you kind of get the idea. If this were like a solid SVG, maybe it would kind of maybe like a company logo or an icon or something like that. We could shift that up, and so that it was kind of overlapping both, right? And all that's done is with a negative margin, right? Now it probably needs a little bit more. I did -40. If we did like -64, let's try that. Oh, that's probably too much. We'll do in the middle. There you go. Right. So again, if this were a solid SVG where you weren't seeing the line, it would be a really nice effect, right? And probably not an apple. But if your company logo was there, or you had some sort of like image asset that you just wanted to shift up and kind of have a transition between, and this is a really nice thing, super easy to do, just requires a negative margin on that image to shift it up. And what's kind of cool is it brings everything else below it up with it, right? So it's kind of just shifting everything up. So that's a really, really, really good useful feature of negative margins. Sweet. Cool. I haven't been looking at the chat room at all, so sorry about that. Hopefully you guys haven't had too many questions. But that's pretty much all I've wanted to show today, and actually went a lot longer than I expected. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to stick on a little bit longer and chit chat and show you guys some cool new stuff. Let me go ahead and peruse through the chat room here. Would love to do more on using SVGs with seams at some point. Okay. Yeah. So Seams does already use SVGs, but you can provide your own custom ones as well, which is pretty cool. You could use, someone was talking about using Z-Index to maybe, with those backgrounds. Yeah, if we want, I could probably play around with that a little bit. I don't see many other questions in the chat room right now. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you want, I can, actually, I can't play around right now. I got to go help some kids with homework and whatnot. So, yeah. How can we animate the pull out menu on top bar? It's about moment we hit the hamburger. Oh, animations on that menu. Yeah, right now it's immediate. There is no animations. I'll have to play around with that. I don't have any solutions for that right now, off the top of my head. So yeah, I agree that we probably need to look at that, and see if we can add some more nice animations to menus in general. It's a work in progress, and we'll get there. But right now, I don't have anything for you, Dominic, in terms of here's a quick thing. So, yeah, cool. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed today. Hope you didn't, you enjoyed hope you learned something. I had fun. I love, probably my favorite out of those background ones was the first one. I think Gradient Magic was really, really nice. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed today. Hope you, learned a little bit. This last thing about negative margins, play around with that. A lot of really cool stuff. And as you see, it was really easy to implement using swatches. So cool. Have a great rest of your week. See you on Weaverspace. Hopefully we'll see some of you on Friday. If you're home and bored and you're looking for something to do, check out all of our YouTube videos. I have tons and tons of videos. Check us out live on Friday. You can actually interact. We can actually see me and talk with me and have a two-way conversation with me. Those are on Fridays on our Hangouts. And we'll see you then this Friday, Weaverspace/Hangout at 1:30 p.m. Pacific. And we'll see you on the Weaverspace community. Take care, everyone. Bye.